Here we go.
Quick.
We're supposed to have an
Wow.
That was a fast one.
That was
You
real
right.
fast.
muted yourself there, Scott. Nice
You
one.
muted yourself at the same time.
Are we live?
We are live. You know what? We're live. This is how it's going to go, folks. Lynn's not here. I've got to operate this, hold my coffee and my vape and my highlighter now because I'm hooked on highlighters thanks to Rex. I got to hold all these things at once. I don't have fingers to do all this shit.
I haven't grown to highlighters. I just got Blistex.
Perfect.
Oh,
Anyway, welcome to the Lynn and Scott and Friends show as we all see it. And Lynn Serrano is taking a little rest. She has been busy. She's got family news. I'm not going to share the family news, but good news for the family. She was doing stuff, and she'll share it all with us when she's ready to share it. But everything is good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's fine. And she's just getting some rest. Maybe watching us, maybe just sleeping. I don't know. But Lynn, take your time and relax. She does so much for everybody else. It's good that she can take a night off for herself. Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And I'm back. I was in Cincinnati last week. I don't have any more traveling for at least another 36 hours. So I'm here for the show tonight. I got to find a way so I can. I was training the Cincinnati Fire Department and treatments and a handful of treatment centers on intervening in addiction and mental health and how to de-escalate situations. So it was an 8-hour full day, 8-hour training. I did an 8-hour training in Boynton Beach today, and I've got an 8-hour training with the Miami Police Department tomorrow. So things are going well. We're very
awesome.
happy.
Proud of you.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you.
Scott, do you do the full 8 hours by yourself?
No, actually, my business partner and I, we go back and forth. We trade off.
That's incredible. That's really cool.
I do probably 5.5 of the 8 hours is what I do.
Wow, that's insane.
And the next program we're writing is a 3-day train-the-trainer program, and I'll be doing that. But
see, I could do that. I could do that if we had 20 breaks.
Yeah,
or a catheter.
20 half-hour breaks.
Get a motorman's friend.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, I've never had people so bad at timing as police and fire departments. You figure these guys know timing. I say, let's take a 10-minute break. Everybody back here in 10 minutes. Look at your watch, 10 minutes. Look at your watch, 10 minutes. 20 minutes later, I'm circling the building looking for everybody.
Oh, no.
Well, that's a lesson I learned when I do my full-day seminars. I always say less. If I know they're going to take 20, I say we're going to take a 10-minute break. Right.
Yeah.
And then I know they're going to come back like 10 minutes late. So you got to learn that.
And if you're with the police, you just say donuts will be served on.
There you go.
Say that.
And if you're not back, you don't get your donut.
Yeah.
I will say the firemen hold up that donut thing too. They did damage on some donuts today. Let me tell you.
That's funny.
All right. So today, folks, and again, thanks for everybody being here. What?
Oh, we're going to get started. Great.
We're going to get started. We're actually going to have a topic.
We actually have a topic?
What is it?
We have a topic. We have something that we're going to discuss, and this is very important.
Well, I hope so.
I'll tell you what it is as soon as I freaking find it. Let's see.
It's never too late to try something new.
Lynn's not here. We can do anything we want.
I was just going to say, you can tell Lynn's not here.
When the cat's away, the mice will play.
See, on my StreamYard, I got everything set up so that there's like 3 things. And if I'm not using those 3 things, I erase them.
Yeah.
Lynn goes back to the beginning of time with everything she's ever done on here, and it's still there. So, which is cool because she can pull up anything at any time. I'm never prepared. So it's never too late to try something new. And one of the reasons I brought this up is I hear this all the time. And whether I'm doing trainings or helping somebody with addictions or just dealing with people in everyday life, I've got people out there just like, well, it's too late for me to change, too late for me to do this. And it's like, well, that's never going to happen. And I just want to I don't know how much to tell them. I spent most of my life stuck. I don't know if you guys have had experience like that, where you spent part of your life stuck in a box, like just framed yourself in and just did not explore your life, did not explore yourself or anything. I'm at that point now. Yeah. Okay. So I'm in my mid-50s. I'm 56 years old. I'm just starting doing things now that I would have loved to have done in my 20s. Doesn't matter. It's never too late to try something new and discover things. I started painting last year. Now my paintings are doing well. My first 5 pieces are going into a gallery Thursday night.
Nice.
So I'm excited, but I never would have done that if I didn't just say, it's not too late. Try it, and don't get hooked up on, just because I like something, get all mad at yourself because you didn't start it earlier. You started it when you could start it, which is now. But so that's what I want to talk about. It's about reaching outside yourself, trying something new, and it's never too late to discover new things and try new things. Who wants to kick it off? Barry.
Barry, you have been voluntold.
I just volunteered.
Yeah.
You're in the center. You're in the center square, kind of. And if I got to wait to move things around, it might not happen. So go ahead.
I'm in your spot. Scott's in the middle spot.
No, you're still first, Barry.
Okay, fine. I'm trying to pass it along. Couldn't do it. I absolutely agree with you. And the fact is that sort of my philosophy is that if you're still breathing, you've got things you can do. No, it's the same thing, but something different. And I've had definitely I want to say checkered past. There she is. I've a checkered past in terms of like changing careers, changing vocations, changing paths in my life. And I still have that thing in my mind. And even though my work is very clear and I've been doing it now for the last 15 years, it still keeps evolving. So I know in terms of just in business alone, it's always new for me. Doing videos recently, starting to do reels, doing the new technology. It's all part of that. Let me try something new. Let's do this instead. So I like the fact that we can do that. And in terms of personal stuff, I mean, my life hasn't stopped changing in 30 years. Always new things, doing new habits, new hobbies. I haven't done any painting. I've dabbled in other things. I used to be a professional photographer, but now I just love taking pictures of my hikes when I go hiking up in the hills, which I do now every day, which I never did before. That was something I was doing back during the pandemic because I need to get out of the house. And hiking has become my go-to every day to connect, to be in nature, to be present. Plus, it's also what wakes me up because I do it first thing in the morning when I get out of bed. It's like, get in the hiking gear and get out of the house. And I take lots of pictures of like downtown LA or of with snow when we can see the snow. That went away pretty quickly, but also the wildlife. So there's always things that I love doing that are new because, frankly, the other part is we can definitely, as you said earlier, stagnate. I definitely had jobs I was in that stagnated, relationships I stagnated in, places I lived at that I stagnated in to millions. And that's the thing, is that I didn't remember I could change. And change is one of the things that I embrace in life because that's the thing that keeps everything fresh and new. So yes, never too late to try something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's excellent. Excellent.
And I love the photos, Barry.
Say again?
I love the photos that you share of your hiking.
Yeah, I do too.
Yep.
I love it. So am I in the hot seat?
I guess I was up first.
You're hot no matter what.
Dempsey, you're in the hot seat.
I like the way you're talking there. Yeah, so I'm in the hot seat. Okay. Well, I love this topic. I love this topic because I so wholeheartedly believe in just trying things new. I'm not saying try things that you don't think you'll enjoy, but if there's something that you think you would like to try and either, age or thinking you can't do it, whatever is holding you back, then I say reevaluate that. Just do it. It's okay to try new things. In fact, it's better than okay. It's amazing. I had always wanted to snow ski and I had never gone. And just last year, I went for my first time and it was terrifying, but it was amazing. I did take a little lesson before I hit the slopes, but it was so invigorating to just say, I wanted to do it. I scheduled it. I told my friends, I'm like, if you want to come, you can come. And they did. And we had an amazing time. I mean, I was nervous about starting my own podcast, but I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm still kind of flying by the seat of my pants, but I started a podcast. I decided I was going to write a book. That's new. I'd never done that before. I wrote a book, and some of the things that I've tried that I didn't think I could either do, or maybe it's too late for me to try to do this, forget about it. I did it and it's been the best experience. That's how I know all of you guys. So yeah, you know what? Try something new. Make a bucket list. I think that's amazing. And check mark those off. It feels so good. I think our
I think sometimes when people make a bucket list, what's the matter?
I thought you froze. Maybe you did it on purpose.
I think I froze.
Try something new.
I think the problem is
Stop
people
freezing.
will write things down, then wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
Stop freezing. I know. Try to switch from Comcast to AT&T. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you say?
Well, I think there's some interesting points to it. I think the real differentiation comes between have to and want to. There are so many different things that you have to do new just because the old doesn't exist. I mean, I used to really love that phone hanging on the wall that had that 25-foot cord, and then I had to change. I mean, you just have to. So again, part of it is, do you have to, because it's just the way that society and business and a variety of things have gone. And I think you're in a much better position if you look at it as the want to. I want to do something more, or I want to keep on expanding. If you think when podcasts first came out, it was like, oh my God, who would ever do one of those things? And is anybody ever going to listen to it? And now it's like, hey, here's the content. If you want to consume it, consume it. And if you don't, cool. We're going to put out good content anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So, the reality is, and again, we refer to a dual hip replacement. I mean, I want to try things new again, because I'm now able to do those things. So that's a big part of want to, we just had lunch down on Fremont Street here in Vegas, and it was awesome. Just walking down, listening to music, watching people. Weren't down there long, but it was just a little people watching. It was a different new experience because Fremont Street has changed so dramatically here in Vegas. So anyway, the reality is things are going to change, which means whatever the change is into is new by definition. And so why not get into a place where you want to experience new things and you want to take and expand that, as opposed to being forced into it, having to.
That's a cool perspective.
Scott,
thank you.
Scott, why do you think people fight it so much, Scott?
Well, people resist change.
Why do you think people just themselves that?
People resist change so much to the point that I learned that so long ago, and in training and in books and the things I've written, I say, I don't even want to say the C word. Yeah. I say people want to improve, because people love improvement, but they hate change. And technically it's very much the same thing, but it's just what's your outlook toward it. People are resistant. They get in their ruts, they get in their habits, they get in their stuff. They have the same, they walk into a coffee place in the morning and the barista knows their order because it's the same thing they've had the last 400 mornings in a row. It's not, hey, we got 47 new things on the menu. Yeah, but this is what I have, So I think a big part of it is resisting change is natural because we get comfortable. Experiencing change and improvement is expanding and can take you to a lot of new and really great places.
I like that.
Absolutely. Steve, what do you think about this topic? What do you think about changing and it's never too late to try something
new. I don't like the topic and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, next.
All right, moving on.
Actually, before I make my main point, I'd like to segue to what you were talking about, Scott Jones. When you said it took you a long time to work on your art, but the blessing in disguise sometimes, for those of you who are listening and saying it's too late, sometimes starting at a later date can be a blessing in disguise, because your art might not have been as good as it is now without your life experience. So sometimes the universe, God, or life, or whatever you want to call it, comes in play at the right time. And that was your time, because I think the things that you do, as far as your art is concerned, is all dependent upon the shit that you had to go through in your life. And that's what represents who you are. When I decided to go to college 6 years after high school, I thought I was going to feel like an idiot because it was going to be 18, 19-year-olds. And I had one hell of a 5 or 6 years of experience after high school that was pretty intense. But it was that experience that catapulted me to get the education that I did get. And it was my ability to bond with my professors because I related to life experiences, and that just added to my education and catapulted me to do even and want to even do more. I also think there's sometimes there's a bucket list, as some of you were talking about, which is pretty cool. I would like to do this. I always like to do that. But I think what's crucial for most people to understand is that there's a difference between a bucket list and following your heart's desire. And there are way too many people out there who are stifling their desire. And the older they get, the more they say it's too late. And the more you say it's too late, the more you solidify your reality. And that's not a cool thing to do. My point is that it's really not too late. If you want to do it, you can just do it. I remember years back when I was on Long Island here, I gave a workshop, and we were talking about this very similar topic. And there was a woman who stood up, and she was talking about, she was in her 60s or early 60s, and she was very emotional. And she started talking about that she wanted to get into acting, into theater. And I said, well, I said, where do you live? She said, Manhattan. I said, are you serious? You live in Manhattan? I said, so right now you're talking about your husband passed away and your kids are married, and there you are, you're not doing anything. Do you know how many acting schools are in Manhattan? Do you know how many people off Broadway and Broadway need help to build the stage, to give input, to work, to do something? I said, get your ass in there and start doing something. Take acting classes. You don't have to get serious in it. You don't have to just take some acting classes. Well, it turns out that she started doing it. She took one little acting class. She liked it. She started doing this stuff. She did a couple of dinner theaters, which I didn't even think existed anymore. And now she's working, from the last time I heard anyway, she's working on off-Broadway and some Broadway things, and she's helping with the stage and setting the set and stuff like that. So she got involved in something that she always wanted to do. Sometimes it's something as simple as that. And all you have to do is take that one step, because what a lot of people do, and I think we've talked about this before, is you get so screwed up on the how. Well, how am I going to do this? And what if that? Don't focus on the how, focus on the why. Why do you want to do it? Because it's something your heart's been telling you to do. It doesn't matter how far you get or how famous you get. The fact is, you want to do what your heart has been telling you to do. I think that's the most gratifying thing that a person could ever experience in their life.
Wow. I like that. I like all that. That kind of reminds. What was that old saying about a brave person dies once, but a coward dies 1,000 times, or something like that? It's because we keep denying ourselves what our heart wants, and it's almost like these little mini deaths. It's like, my heart wants to do this and try this, but I deny myself and I don't do it. So a little part of me dies again, and then a little part of me dies. And it's like over and over again. It's like these defeats that I create myself because I never actually try. Rex, what do you think about all of this, brother?
Well, I'm a whole lot more compassionate than I'm going to sound like right now. I'm going to tough love it here and go, let's just cut through the horse shit. People do exactly what they want to or need to do, and whatever excuses that they buy into or give or provide are the reason why they don't. So shut the fuck up and do what you want to do, or don't, and stop whining about it. You're going to either die or you're going to do. What do you want to do? You want to spend the rest of eternity in a box not having accomplished anything? Or do you want to go out and do something that might seem a little scary and make it happen? But this said, all kidding aside, there's needing to do something. Like, I need to clean the garage. Well, who says? Well, I say. Or, the garage is so full I can't get my car in, so I need to do something, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody's forcing me to clean the garage, like a spouse or a significant other. Somebody's going, if you don't do that, I'll leave you. So I need to do something. Okay, then there's wanting to do something. Well, I want to clean the garage, but I really want to sit on the couch and watch the game. So which do you want more? So wanting to do something's fine. You can want, but there's tons of people want to do things and they never do them. And the question becomes is why not? Oh, I'm scared, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the money, and they provide all these reasons for why they don't do it. So the point is, do it or shut up about it. But lastly, I would say this. Find out what you really love and do what you love. Because there's a difference between going, I would love to go to the party tonight, versus I want to go to the party tonight. Because I can want to go and not go. I could need to go and not go. But if I really love it, I might just absolutely do it. We tend to do things that are really, truly important to us, that we love, that's fulfilling, that might be fun, or that helps other people. But what do I love? What would I really love to do? I think, people go, what do I want to do? What do I need to do? What do I have to do? If I had a business, what would we love to be doing? What would we be? What would we enjoy? What would we prefer? What would we, there was some guy on the news today, 100-some years old, took a skydiving thing out of a World War II plane that he had some connection with when he was back during World War II. There are people who are doing stuff all the time, and doing new things and pushing the envelope for themselves. And then there are those people who die miserable deaths doing nothing. And the question becomes is, which would you prefer to be? And so if you're going to let excuses rule you, I'd rather let my passions rule me and make some mistakes than let my fears rule me and die alone in a closet somewhere.
Rex, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire for a second there, because are you telling me that you have always walked through the door you wanted to walk through? You've never stopped yourself or held yourself back and then had to learn to let go and just do it?
Yeah,
so
no, of course not.
Tell me about that.
I've made all the same mistakes. I've done all the same stupid stuff. I've let fear stop me countless times, or I blundered into things and found out, wow, that was terrible. Or I blundered into things and went, whoa, that was incredible. You can't know that here's the problem is people try to hedge their bets. You don't know tomorrow if you're going to be alive. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. No, I mentioned it on some podcast. On Friday of last week, March 24th, I believe it was. I think it was the new John Wick movie opened. It just opened this, whatever. The week prior to that, Lance Riddick, who starred in the movie, died on that Friday morning. Thursday afternoon, he's like, here, look at me with my dogs. And he's going da-da-da-da-da and doing these videos of him singing. A very happy, joyous guy. Wasn't there the next day. And I love Lance Riddick, so this is with the utmost respect. And I miss him. He was a marvelous talent. The point is, he didn't know he was checking out the next morning.
Oh, my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
And neither did the cast or crew or the people who's opening is now Lance Riddick. So you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So what's the worst that could happen? You could be dead, true, or you could do something that you really love to do or really want to do. So if you let fear rule you, you might die anyway. But if you let, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we're trying to hedge our bets and try and make sure that we're safe and we're secure. We don't lose our money. We don't lose our friends. We don't look bad. We don't look stupid. We don't look foolish. We're trying, and I've done all of that. Believe me.
Yeah.
And what I've learned through all of that is it doesn't do anything but delay it. And if it delays it and you never get around to it, there may be that day when you never can get around to it. So make your life what you want it to be.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now I think the show should be called
I don't know
It's
if you
Never
could-
Too Late to Try Something New. # no excuses.
That's right. Regrets. I
There
had
you
a
go.
few.
Well,
but
I mean,
then again,
the other
too
side to
late.
that is you're never too old, you're never too young. Just shut up and get to it.
Shut up and do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dorothy, how old was Dorothy when she went to see the wizard?
Thank you.
There's also so many. There's an article somewhere.
I really
or a meme
don't
somewhere.
know.
What,
I was
Mary?
going to
What's
say
that?
that there's a meme or there's a list somewhere of 10 people like Oprah, I don't remember the people. It's like there's like 7 like sports people, other people who started and made success after the age of 40, after the age of 50.
Yeah.
You know, J.K. Rowling wasn't 20 when she wrote Harry Potter. She was in her
Right.
I think, 40s. So
Yeah.
many people do try something new that is very successful later in life.
The other side of that, there's a sheet of famous failures. Michael Jordan, Oprah.
No, there's a list. There's a list of when people became successful.
Disney.
I think. Yeah, but there's also definitely there's a list of people's like age when they achieve success. There's that list as well.
That's cool.
But if you read Law of Success or Think and Grow Rich, even Napoleon Hill back then in the 20s and the 30s said most people don't make it until they're in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. So and later, you know, we have this thing of youth is wasted on the young because they either don't do anything and then you become old, right?
Right.
But there are plenty of people who became very, very famous, very successful, very rich, very happy, very whatever at an old age. But now we're seeing that it can also happen at a young age. So take the age factor out of it. Just shut up about your age. Who cares?
But I think that's part of the problem. That's what keeps people from following their heart as they get older. It's not about how famous you're going to be.
Right.
It's not about how much money you're going to make. It's about getting off your ass and following your heart's desire, regardless of where you wind up or how you wind up. I'm sure this woman, I haven't kept in touch with her. I'm just using her as an example because I used her before. I don't know. I'm sure she's not famous, but I'm sure she's loving what she's doing. She fulfilled a part of her heart. She's doing something. I think that's the main point. The main point is, you know, it's not about fame. It's not about money. It's about doing what your heart has been telling you to do. Just do it and stop on how, because the how always keeps people back. I can't tell you how many people have emailed me and called me on the phone and I have conversations saying, I want to write a book, but you know, how am I going to get a publisher? And how am I going to have an editor? And what if my grammar isn't right? And how do I? That's the stuff that stops them from doing it. I said, just write the fucking book. Just start writing. All the hows come into play every step along the way. Just write and allow it to happen. Don't worry about the grammar. Don't worry about the usage. Don't worry about any of that. Just write your feelings, get it down, start it. And all of a sudden, life has a way of showing you the next step. If you hold on to the why, life will take you to that next step. And I know it sounds pretty scary, and I guess it is, but you got to trust the process. People are there. The universe has a way of sending you people that can take you to that next step to get you to where you want to go, wherever that may be. At least you're doing it.
Yeah, the other side, if you're actually
I would make
sharing your intentions and what's going on, you can now inform the community around you, the people that you know, the people that you're talking to at that moment of that. And it's more likely that somebody will be able to direct you from that point. So just set your path and your intentions, share them, and go from there.
I want to point something out. You know, you never have to jump out of an airplane. Do you know that?
Damn, I did for the wrong reason.
I hope not.
No, but it sounds crazy. But the first time I went skydiving, you know, I was on a static line. I wasn't, jumping with somebody else, but I was on a static line. And we climbed out of the Cessna onto the wheel of the plane, and we would hold on to the strut. And they said, when you're ready to go, just let go. And you're like, no, we don't have to just let go. Gravity's going to take care of you. You don't have to jump. You don't have. So, you know, if you're the thing that most people don't realize is just let go. Just, everything will take care of itself if you just go and allow yourself to do it.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good point, because the people who jump too high get creamed by the propeller. The propeller just takes them right out.
But they become a student in tow.
I would make an argument about all of this, that this is a thought that I had, and I find it to be true in the travel, in where I circle, or sorry, the people that I travel with. Most people don't know their own hearts until their 40s and 50s anyway. Most people. I mean, you think about it, you're a child, everything is formed by your parents and your teachers and your surroundings. You're a teenager and you're in your early 20s, everything is formed by your friends and your relationships. You hit your late 20s, your 30s, everything is formed by media and what job you should do and how much money you should make. And then somewhere in your 40s, and then you get into you're like, why have I been following everybody? You know, who am I? What makes me happy? And so a lot of points at the times when people are saying, I want to try something, but it might be too late, it's probably just the right time, because for the first time, you're listening to your heart. I have not met many self-aware 20-year-olds. I really haven't. A few, yes, but not many, because they're still so influenced by everything around them. I mean, we all are to a certain extent.
Sure.
But I think you become freer as you get older, and you get a better opportunity to do things that might have a lot more meaning for you than they would have back then. Like Steve said about my painting, if I had done it back then, it might not have meant as much as it does to me right now. And you guys with your writing and the things that you do, it was the right time for me. You know, if I could have done it earlier, I should have, and I would have, and I could have, and I could have. You know, it doesn't fucking matter. Right now is when I have a chance to do it. Right now is when I could actually follow my heart, because it took me until this time to know who exactly I am.
Yeah, that's why I like
now
that.
I can do whatever I want.
I love that saying, stop shitting on yourself. You know, you've all heard that. You know, stop it. It's because that'll keep you back. That'll kill you. That's a destroyer. And a lot of people get caught up because, you know, they were married and either the wife sacrificed her career to help her husband go to college, and so he can get his law degree, whatever, and vice versa. And people do that. You sacrifice, you want to see your family grow up, and you want to do this, and then all of a sudden you're at a point like, well, now what am I going to do with my life? And there's no reason why you, from no matter where you are at that point in life, you just take it from that point on and keep going forward. So that part of your life, it's not that it's over, it's changed, it's different. Your kids are gone, you're still married, but hey, you still have something within you that can where you can follow your heart and go from there. And life is there for you. Just jump into it and see what happens.
I want to add something if I can. And that is
Please.
simply this. Thank you. Thank you. Apart from doing stupid stuff, you know, dangerous things or things that would harm yourself or somebody else, because you should at least have the presence of mind or awareness or the wisdom or be smart enough to know the difference between I'm going to do something I've never done before, like I'm going to, you know, close my eyes and walk along the precipice of this building just because, like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, apart from the things that are truly risky, not calculated risk, like, you know, going on a tandem jump with somebody, but, you know, doing stupid shit. The idea that you even want something that you go, you know, I'd really like to paint, or I'd really like to do stand-up comedy, or I'd really like to learn to sew, or I want to learn a new language, or I want to be in theater, or I want to learn to invest, whatever it is. Why do you think this is coming to you right now? Why would you even entertain that notion if maybe you ought to go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
You're wanting it. You're desiring it. Yes, I know. And it's not equating it to, I want that extra piece of apple pie, or I want to go do something stupid. But the notion that you have this interest, that you might like to do something, you really want to do it. Why not just go do it? Why do you think that you're getting this right now? Maybe it's the sign from the cosmos or God or you know, or the fate or whatever that's going, step into this now, because now is when, you know, you didn't want it 10 years ago or whatever, or maybe you did, but you didn't act on it. So finally it's time for you to do it.
Love that.
Yep. Excellent. Debbie, I feel like you were trying to get something in earlier. Do you have some thoughts on this?
What?
No, I just I'm sorry. The thing that keeps going around in my head, because everyone's perspectives again is amazing. I like the fact that Two Hips took it from a different perspective of, you know, it's never too late to try something. It's also it just sometimes you get thrust into change where you have to try something new. So you might as well enjoy it, you know, just accept it. I like that. But Rex, when you said, I've never skydived, and that is not on my bucket list. But I didn't know that gravity will take over. If you let go, you go. And I think that's an amazing analogy for this. When you say, you know, it's never too late to try something new, but you're holding on to the old and you don't want to take and make change, just let go and you will go. I love that.
you know what's so amazing about that is during the time that we were going through the process of learning that, they say, oh, you're going to be on the wheel, just let go. And people go, well, don't I have to push off? They go, no, you just let go. You go, well, what if I do? Wouldn't I? And they go, no, because the plane is moving forward. If you stop holding onto the plane, you're just going to drop. The plane's going to move out from under you. You just let go, and I mean, and gravity does the rest, and people go, because they go, well, if I push off, they go, well, if the plane is moving this way, and if you push off that way, what do you think might happen? Just let go.
And that's the key. You got to let go first. And as I said earlier, each step follows itself.
I love this. This is a great topic, I think. I love it.
I never thought I was going to ever write a book. Hell, after high school, I never thought I'd read a book. But no, I'm serious. I'm not lying. And when I started writing it, I just started writing, and I took stuff that I was writing in my journal. And I said, oh, maybe this can go here, this can go there. And then all of a sudden, I started talking to some people about it. They said, hey, that's a good idea. Why don't you give it to me? I gave it to them. They changed it around. Somebody gave me an editor because, a good editor, a really good editor can take a good book and make it great, And then all of a sudden I was introduced to publishers and self-publishing and all this stuff. And before you know it, I had my first book. And it to me, that's one of the most amazing things that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
My first book was called Becoming a Humor Being. And all these serendipitous events came to me. And I'm saying, well, what am I going to do with this? And all of a sudden, somebody gave it to this person. Tony Robbins gave it to Marianne Williamson. Marianne Williamson gave it to Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer gave it to, believe it or not, Art Linkletter. And a couple of other self-help people. And I got great testimonials from these people, and I didn't even ask them.
Yeah.
They were just given to these people to say, hey, take a look at this. And they wrote testimonials for me. I'm just saying this because people who are going to be listening to this, you just never know where the help or the guidance is coming from. It's coming from a higher power. I will tell you that. But this higher power can connect you to so many different facets in life. And it's absolutely amazing when these steps start following each other. It's an amazing process.
That's amazing.
Scott, I put you in the center because I wanted to approach you on something. You were talking more about the changes that come that, they're going to come anyway. We have to deal with that. And new things come along anyway. Now I could sit there and say, hey, listen, they changed the tax structure. There's new taxes. Hey, I don't like them. I'm not going to pay them. Well, I'm going to be in trouble. I have to accept some things and do them. You recently, and you share this so openly with everybody. I'm so happy you do, about your hip surgeries and things like that. That wasn't something that you certainly wanted to change in your life. That wasn't something you certainly look forward to. So how much of your attitude did you have to adjust to make that work in your life?
Well, I don't know that I really needed to make it work. I think you finally get to a point, and it's a weird intuitive thing that just showed up. Let's say you're in a honky tonk and you want to ask somebody to dance, and you walk over and you ask them to dance and they say no. Your life didn't get worse. You weren't dancing. You're still not dancing. Your life didn't get worse, right? And so it's kind of that same kind of thing with the hips. Is my life was getting worse by not doing something, and I was losing capability to even. I had a major tour promoter want me to go on 2 different tours. And the thought of having to walk to a car to get to an airport, to walk through a terminal, to then get on stage, that what would normally have been just a normal process. All of a sudden in my mind, I'm seeing that, well, I better get there 2 days early so that I can rest enough, so that I can feel good enough to get on stage and do the task. And you go, well, that ain't going to happen. What do that's not a rational thought that's even a possibility. And so you start to recognize all of a sudden I'm losing, I've got all this capability and this stuff that's been jammed into my head somewhere, somehow. And now I'm not able to execute on it. I'm not able to implement on it. And then you start going, wait a second. Now, shame on me for that. That's, if you make the choice because you are able-bodied that's one thing. But if you allow yourself to not take corrective action, that's a totally different thing. And then once I had the first one done, when the pain was reduced so dramatically, all of a sudden the fog starts to clear. Then you go, how fast can I get the second one done?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so enthused about what I could. And so it's, you kind of get to that point where you pick up the momentum. And that's actually, before you ask the question, where I was going to go with it, what everybody has said is, go ask somebody to dance. What's the worst they can say?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
You weren't dancing, you're still not dancing. Life didn't get worse. You know, if you want to try something new, go try something new. Nobody says at 86 you need to go from never singing ever to being an operatic singer. But if you start to sing and you enjoy it, and it now gives you that different feel, doing something new has been awesome.
That's awesome.
And so again, I just don't, I think that we get, I mean, the reason I want to share the experience about the hip replacements is you have that trepidation. You don't know. I mean, you've talked to friends, you've talked to people, and they've all said, oh, you know, hips are much easier than knees, and this is going to be great for you. And you go, yeah, right, sucker, right? And then you finally do it, and you go, damn, he didn't lie to me. You know, I mean, he was looking out for my good. And seriously, I got a friend now who was a former WWE wrestler who is going to my doctor.
Yeah.
He's 14 years younger than I am, but he's going to my doctor to get his right hip replaced because he was body slammed so many times in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going, don't wait, get it done.
Now we know that Hipster, how he got both hips bummed.
That's right.
WWE friends have been slamming him.
That's right. But I mean, I'm enthused to share the difference, right? And because you don't know what you don't know until you know it.
Right.
And that's what happens through the experience.
You know, Scott, when you were talking about being on tour, I was just thinking about Two Hips Hip Hop Tour. I'm just thinking about you in a gold chains and dancing around the stage. It was the picture I had in my head. Two Hips Hip Hop Tour.
You shouldn't have gotten that pre-release material like that, but that's okay.
Me too, Scott. I'm with you.
I'm telling you. That picture is going to be with all of us now for a while.
That's how he got those hips all bummed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say something that
you made an interesting point. I want to capitalize on one point real quick, and then we're going to kind of go around. Sometimes we need to think, how many times am I going to have regrets? Every time I didn't walk through the door or ask the girl to dance or do something, I've always walked away and somehow felt some regret. And sometimes when you're looking at something, should I try this? Should I not try this? Sometimes I just got to think about, listen, I know if I don't try it, I'm going to be disappointed in myself. But God knows what can happen if I do try it. You know, and like you said, the worst thing can happen is she could say, no, I don't want to dance with you. Or you could jump out of a plane and the chute won't open. No big, no, that is a big deal. But there are other things.
Well, they guarantee the chutes. They'll give you another one if it doesn't open the first time.
That's right.
Oh, that's cool.
Just remember to hit and roll. Hit and roll.
Hit and
roll.
roll.
Fire.
10,000 feet. Yeah, try that one.
So, listen, especially later in life, I mean, we built enough regret, you know, when we were young, not asking the girl or the guy out. We've done things. Everybody's got experiences like that, I'm sure. But why do that now? Go out there and try things. Open yourself up to them and consider. Listen, if I don't, it is like maybe with the hip thing. Okay, I could look forward to pain, or I could try to do something that might take away the pain. Either way, you know, it's either no pain or there's pain. You know, but it doesn't. There's nothing else that's going to happen there. Let's just do it. I love this stuff.
The regret becomes self-flogging. Why would you want to get caught in regret? I mean, quite frankly, I truly believe I don't live with any regret. Now, do I ever think I would have done some things differently? Probably, but I don't regret any of it, because if you truly believe all things work together for your good, you wouldn't be where you are today without those all things. Absolutely. It doesn't say all things are good. right? And so if you can clear the self-flogging, I'm just not going to beat myself up over the fact that I was disappointed, and that means a missed appointment with the expectation that you set. So you're in control of that. You set the expectation, you miss the expectation you set. So just accept the result of whatever movement you got. It doesn't make any sense to regret anything. It just, I don't find any logic in it whatsoever.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go. Rex, you want to add something before we?
Well, I was just going to say, thank you. I was just going to say, for the last week or two, I've been really busy and I haven't gotten to the gym. And I would say I'm going to go try and get to the gym today, and it wouldn't happen. Obviously, for some people, you could feel really bad or really disappointed that you didn't do it. I mean, I realized I'm not getting to the gym, and I would prefer it. I go, well, I'll go on Monday. Well, then Monday came, and I couldn't get to the gym, and then was today Tuesday. So today I just said, okay, I'm going, and I packed up. I took the dogs to the girls to the dog park and did their thing, came back, did some stuff I had to do, and went to the gym. And I spent about an hour at the gym, and which is fast. I mean, to get out of a gym in an hour is just amazing. But I mean, I spent, an hour exercising, and I feel great. I don't mean I feel great because I exercised. I feel great because I did what I wanted to do.
Right.
And the exercise is obviously feeling great too. But the point is, you can either sit there and moan that you didn't do something you wanted to do, or regret it or not, or you can just go do it and find out that you feel good by doing it. I mean, if you're doing something that you love or doing something that you like or enjoy or something that is good for you and you can do it and it's not going to cost you, stupidity or something, a massive whatever, just go do it. Just do it. So stop everything else and just do it.
I agree with you. I'm trying to get back to the gym myself, but I heard you're supposed to take a little time between exercises. So I'm going every 3 months. And I'm just hoping that will be. I need to rest the body. I don't want to hurt myself,
Get an accountability partner.
Let's go around
and myself. Get back to the gym with somebody else.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Absolutely. Let's go around and kind of final thoughts or not final thoughts, but closing thoughts on what we think about this kind of thing and trying new things no matter what point you are in your life. Barry, you want to kick us off there?
Great. Back on the front again. Actually, I was trying to finish something I was going to say earlier because what I really didn't talk about is the area of relationships, because this is my area of work. Yeah. And this topic can really apply in relationships where they need salvage or help. And also when you're out of a relationship, you're not even really comfortable about doing something new like dating again. So my short advice, because I know we're wrapping up, is if you're in a relationship and it's getting flat, like it's not going anywhere, have you tried anything new with your partner? As in, have you decided to go to a new restaurant for a change, or have a first date every week? There's some things you can do that make the relationship healthy and happy again by choosing to do things that are new and different, because it's never too late to try. The second piece, though, for people out of relationships, is where I specialize in my work, is some people are scared to get back on the horse, so to speak, to get out and date again. Because they had a relationship that ended, like a marriage that ended after 20 years, or they lost a spouse who died. That the fear factor can be so strong because they're not willing to try something new. Because yes, if you're out of a long-term relationship, to go date somebody else is not the same old. It is something new. So are you willing to put aside your presumptions, assumptions, and judgments and see what happens? So, I mean, there's a lot more to talk about, but you want to drop those two little things in there as well. So relationships are definitely a place where trying something new is a good thing.
Absolutely. And that doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. You can do that with friendships. True. Friendships go stale too if you don't reinvent those things once in a while too, right, Barry?
Correct. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Debbie, what do you think?
I love what everyone has said. I just want to end with, if you're a person that has ever witnessed listening to someone be so excited about trying something new and you're on the other end of it. Anytime you've ever heard someone say, oh my gosh, and I went and I tried this, it's amazing, even if it's a new food. That excitement you can insert into your own life by trying something new yourself. So just do it. That's the theme of this show tonight, is let's just do it. So let go and let live, and that's it.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, it's so funny when we sit back and watch other people celebrate new things, and we get right in there and celebrate with them. And then when it's our time to do something new, we kind of back away from it a little bit, or we not. I'm not going to go to an Indian restaurant. I might not like it. Well, maybe you will. Maybe you will.
Well, Scott, it's been so long since you've been at the gym. It's going to be a new experience for you.
Thank you.
It's great. Now the audience is
I think it's the same membership I had when I was 18 years old. Yeah, really. I had this membership since 18 years old. I can't get out of it. I haven't gotten out of jury duty better than I can get out of the Planet Fitness membership. All right. Scott, what do you think?
I think you need to go to the gym, but past that,
what is this, intervention on me? What is it?
Oh,
it shows up when it needs to. No,
Yeah.
This is all, again, if there are things in your life not going exactly the way you want them to go, let's go back to Einstein. You can't continue to do the same things the same way and expect different results. It's the definition of insanity. You've got to put something else into play. It's the only way you get feedback. It's the only way you know whether you'll like it or won't like it. And again, because you go do something doesn't mean, number one, you're going to do it that way the rest of your life, or that the way you've been doing it is wrong. It just means you don't assign so much value to it, quite frankly. Take the step forward and see the feedback that comes from it. If you really like it, keep doing it. And if you don't like it, do something else. If you don't like that, change again. And find, I'm a strong believer in do what makes your heart sing. And, what's fun about this is I think we would all do this even if we didn't get paid. Mm-hmm. So we don't get paid. Anyway, the point is that we do this because we love it, because we want to share what we've learned over time to be of service to other people. And that's the payment. And so why wouldn't you want to try something new and get a group of knuckleheads together like this every Tuesday?
Yeah.
Just makes sense.
I love that for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It seems like it should be so simple. Do what makes you happy and enhances the lives of the people you love. It seems like it should be a really simple formula for life, but we complicate the hell out of it. We complicate. Even I know we bring up these topics and it's like we look at it and like Rex said at the beginning, well, Jesus, just do it. If you want to do it, just do it. And you can get frustrated. But these are the real things that people are dealing with out there. It's what we see every day is people stop themselves from being happy and from doing good things. Or
actually, Rex was a little into the tough.
That's why I'm so glad, like you said,
die or do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Do it or die. All right, Scott, Steve. I'm sorry, Steve.
Yeah, again, I'm just going to go back to what. Excuse me. What? What?
You still with us?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Imitating a light bulb. What? How
many watts?
When did everyone become comedians? That's what I want to know.
Never.
Okay.
Everyone's a comedian.
I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier. The title, "It's Never Too Late to Try Something New." There's a difference here between fulfilling a bucket list and fulfilling your heart's desire. And a bucket list isn't anywhere near as important as following your heart. So for those of you who feel that there's something that you haven't done with your life, but you still feel you want to do it, you have to take that first step. You have to believe in yourself. When you wake up in the morning, just say to yourself, what would it be like if I started doing that? How would I feel? Start asking yourself those empowering questions and take that. Who can I go to that can help me? What do I need to do to get from here to here? And just take those first few steps. You owe it to yourself to at least try that. Don't worry about being the best. Don't worry about becoming famous. Don't worry about how much money you're going to make. Just be concerned about following this part of you that's been yearning inside of you for probably your whole life. And I think you will be surprised if you have a little bit of faith in yourself and just take one step at a time. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. It doesn't matter what anyone says to you. Just do what you feel you need to do and see what happens. You don't want to die with that part of you still in you.
Awesome.
And it has it makes no difference on how old you are. No difference at all.
Love it.
There we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rex, what are your thoughts, Rex?
Well, if we haven't convinced you to do it by now, go ahead and die. You might as well.
And for those of you who are in trouble, call the Rex hotline.
So
because he has all the right things to say to you.
Really.
You have a gun? Yes. Well, use it.
He also started the F-bomb. It was contagious. Then everybody started saying
Well, it's kind of like, you're what? Oh, go to hell.
Yeah. Rector, get off the pot.
No more excuse. No, here's the thing. I think just wake up in the morning and go, what would I like to do today? What would I love? What would I enjoy? Einstein said nothing happens in the universe unless something moves. If you don't move, if you don't do something, you won't ever know. So just what is it that you really want to do? And it doesn't have to be, how do I change the universe? It's what would I love today? Maybe I'd love to go to the garden and smell some flowers. Maybe I'd like to go to the library and pick out a new book. Maybe I'd like to sit down and, and try and learn a new language, or maybe I want to learn how to knit, or maybe I want to, I'd love to go swimming somewhere or just walk along. Just find the things that you love and do them, and enjoy life. I mean, what's the alternative? Dog shit or diamonds. Just do it, love it, and enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. There is no perfect. Nothing you're going to ever do is going to be absolute. Hey, listen, you know what? Follow your dreams. If you want to write, start writing. You want to paint. If you want to take a walk, do whatever you want to do. I have a feeling that when Dr. Seuss first wrote his first book, somebody looked at it and said, "Are you freaking crazy? This is stupid." Starbelly Sneetches and green eggs and ham. But somewhere it worked and something happened. It can happen for anybody. You don't freaking know. You just don't know.
And
some of the richest people on the planet invented. What?
I'm sorry.
Relationships?
Scott. It's the same thing with potato chips. What? No, it's the same thing with relationships. I know people. I know a guy who hasn't seen his kids in years because he and his wife got divorced, and he's been so guilty because he hasn't seen them, and they're older now. And he keeps saying, "But I have to see them." I said, "Well, stop saying I have to and do it. Just take that first step. And if you have to apologize, whatever it is, do what you have to do. Because if you don't do it, it's going to hurt you in the long run." And he hasn't done it yet, but perhaps someday he will. You have to make the step. Otherwise, it's going to eat at you. It will destroy the very essence of who you are. That goes for a dream, whether it's a relationship, whatever it is. Just have the courage to take that first step.
Yeah.
There's a piece that's really missing here.
Absolutely.
But there's a piece that's missing here, and that is we keep telling people to do it, and they need to, or there's these dire consequences. Well, just do it because it's fun. I mean, in other words, enjoy things, live life, have fun, and make loving connections and do it because it feels good. I mean, we shouldn't have to be, dour about the things we want to do in life. Just have fun doing them.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Scott, Steve, Barry, Debbie, Rex, and all of us telling Lynn, get some rest. We'll see you next week. We're glad everything's working out. Remind you guys, my daughter's actually going to be on my show Thursday night to tell her story about growing up in my addiction, developing her own addiction, dealing with her sexuality, and the loss of her mother. And she wants to lay it all on the table because she says, if I don't share it, someone else is not going to make it through it. I am so proud. My daughter will be on Thursday night at 7 with me and Mary Kay. So come on and join us for that.
Wow.
The most important show I've ever done, talking to my daughter. So,
sure. Yeah.
God bless you guys all. I love you guys and everybody out there. If you think you want to try something, go out there and try it. You got nothing to lose. We'll catch you next time right here on As We All See It.
Keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down.